Hey, this is Sam Black with Miracles and Legacy, and I have a hand that can cast Top and Brainstorm and has a fetch land, so definitely going to keep, as one basically always does with a Brainstorm and two lands, at least one of which is a fetch. I have no idea what my opponent's playing, of course. Probe could be anything. My opponent sees that life total is not really a concern, and it's safe to fire off multiple probes. Alright, that's a good one to have and to not have my opponent know about. I suspect I'm supposed to fight over this, but I'm not going to. This is a very aggressive use of Brainstorm here. My opponent's hand has to be very particular for that to be right, I think. Since my opponent's not getting a shuffle. Okay, and now I see what's going on. I could force this, but I don't think I need to. I think it's better to just try to Brainstorm to find a plow or something, or just naturally draw a plow, and save force to fight over something. I have another fetch to be able to shuffle my Brainstorm now, and my hand's pretty good, so I'm just going to hold on to this Brainstorm, and I'm going to crack this fetch and cast plow now while my opponent's tapped out. I don't want to make it easier for my opponent to fight over this. And I don't think that I'm concerned with trying to get a 2-for-1 or something. Now that I know that I can't plow this thing right now, it becomes a lot more reasonable to fight over this, but I'm not going to. Force Will is going to stop my opponent from killing me, and then I can just Snapcaster Plow on my next turn. I think I allow this to happen. I do not think I want to put myself dead. I think I actually get rid of Snapcaster. I think I only need one of them. Alright, so I obviously have to spend 3 mana this turn, which means I'm going to have to shuffle before using these Brainstorms, but that's okay. My opponent's down to 2 cards. I'm going to be able to deal with this thing, I think. A Daze will stop me from being able to cast Sword Splash Arrows, but I'll still have counter Sword Splash Arrows or stop me from casting it, but that would be a worse way to use it. But I'll still have a Snapcaster in play to block, so it's unlikely that I'm going to die here. And there's the Daze. Okay, so my opponent gets to keep the Glistener Elf, but I have a blocker, and my opponent has 1 non-tropical island card in hand. That's a good one to have. Okay, now things are looking pretty good. Drawing Dig through time means I just want to get cards in my graveyard, so I'm going to cast Brainstorm. It puts a card in my graveyard and might find like a land that I could play that let me dig right away. Alright, so I'm not going to be able to shuffle. but that's fine. I'm just going to put both digs back and cast Vendilion Click, and then I can dig into the other dig and decide if I want it or not. There's a case to be made for just attacking here, but I do not think it is a strong enough case. There's also some question about when I'd want to use Vendilion Click. I think I'm actually going to use it on my opponent's end step, or sometime other than right now, and not in my opponent's draw step. My opponent brainstormed. I don't think that there's like a sorcery that I'm worried about taking, and I think that having mana up on my opponent's turn is going to be good. Also, passing here means that if I absolutely need to find a Force of Will, I can brainstorm putting a 6th card in my graveyard, drawing 2 dig through times, and then cast dig through time to try to find something. Which makes not casting Click much better. And I'm definitely going to wait for Ponder to resolve, since the card I'd be most likely to want to take is whatever my opponent ponders into. But that was a shuffle. Pendelhaven is the draw. This could play out well. This is going to attack because you can Pendelhaven it, and then I can play Click and block with Click to get the Glistener Elf off the board and check my opponent's hand. Or it'll get countered. There's a very good chance that I don't die if I take this. In fact, I don't think they play Groundswell, but I don't actually know the usual Legacy list exactly. I think I can safely take this and not be dead. I don't think there's a ton of upside to taking it, though. I'm just going to block. I don't think the Snapcaster is getting better against Pendelhaven. I guess it gives me a clock if I deal with the Glistener Elf. That's appreciable. I'll take it. Hope I'm not dead. This might have been terrible. It's important that my opponent can't cast Invigorate here, because there's not a forest in play. Only one unknown card. And I don't have any reason to believe it would be something that was perfectly sculpted. Alright, I think I just main phase dig. I don't see any advantage to waiting. And I think I get rid of everything. None of this is stuff I need to be able to Snapcaster. Okay, so I can set up Terminus by taking it. Can I set up Terminus right away? I think I can, if I want. I can just take Terminus, and then I can take Terminus Brainstorm and cast Brainstorm, putting Terminus back, and then cast Brainstorm on my opponent's turn to draw the Terminus. And And this other stuff doesn't really seem great. Counterspell's fine. I mean, Counterspell is pretty good. Counterspell would be the other thing I'd want to take. But I think I'm just going to take Brainstorm Terminus. But I don't know that I actually want to put Terminus on top right now. Okay, I don't know that I want to cast one of the Brainstorms if I do this. I guess I might as well. Alright, I'll take Terminus Brainstorm and cast a Brainstorm. This isn't bad. So I'm just gonna... Oh, I don't have enough mana to Brainstorm into Terminus. That's a bit awkward. Alright, well... I'm gonna put Venser and Terminus back and cast top, I guess. And then I'll chump block with a Snapcaster and then Terminus. Alright, so now I Terminus that and cast Counterbalance, and I'm probably in pretty good shape. I know Venser's on top, so let's fix that. Let's see. No hurry to draw a Venser. Stop my upkeep so I can keep the Brainstorm there. Draw the island and pass. Let's see if I can find a 2. I cannot. Alright. So this is going to happen, and that's fine. And I'm just going to Venser it later. Later likely means my opponent's turn. Take another peek at trying to find a 2, which I have not done. I need to find an answer to that thing. I think I'm just going to brainstorm. Alright, there's a terminus. So I'll put this back and this back, obviously. And might as well put this into play, I think. And I'll attack with Venser. That's fine. And I'll just cast Terminus. Alright, Force of Will is a good thing to draw. Look. I don't want this, I want to keep this on top, and I want to draw this. Alright, I need to find an answer to that thing quickly, which that isn't. I don't want this. I want counterbalance on top. Alright, I have to find an answer. The best thing I can do, I think, is draw the fetch land and look at some new cards. I have enough mana that I can afford to look at just one card here first. That's interesting. Do I have enough mana that I want to do that? So I could put these on top and then brainstorm to get Jace, and then play Jace and activate it. I think I want Jace. I'll put back top counterbalance, cast Jace. Shuffle. Activate Jace. Fail to find anything useful. activate Counterbalance to look at one more card. Again, failed to find anything useful, and died in Nexus. Alright, I want Static Caster, Blasts, Wear and Tear, probably even Explosives. Flusterstorm is a consideration, and Mentor and Vendilion Click are considerations. I'll put them in for now. I was not impressed by Counterbalance there, actually. I don't think Jace is great. I think I want to try to win with creatures rather than with Jace. Explosives is, I guess, a really bad answer to Glistener Elf or Bladed Agent. It's an answer, but I think I can do better. So I'll cut that. I think I want to cut Counterbalances. I'll leave one. Like but don't love Force of Will. It's possible that I should be cutting Force of Will here. My opponent is a combo deck, but not really. I really don't like going down cards here. Like, I think that this ends up playing as kind of a fair matchup where I have answers to the things that my opponent's doing. I'm gonna cut two of them, which might be crazy, but I don't like them, so it's fine. And this will be the highly debatable deck that I'll present. I can't keep this hand. I will keep this hand. And I'll just get a Tundra and play top. Force pitching Bladed Agent. Alright. I'll play this to play around days, and I'll just try to kill this thing now. Alright, that's really good. I don't like brainstorm locking myself, but I do really want to find a land, so I'm just going to hope that I can. Alright. This is countered. That's fine. I have another one. This wasn't going to be a super high value brainstorm anyway. Sylvan Library. Alright, that's not great for me. Let's brainstorm. Okay, well that's a little problematic. Let's put back Flusterstorm Terminus in the other order. I think my opponent has a Force of Will. I think that my opponent was thinking too long on my last brainstorm when I had a mana up, and would have immediately dazed this if I had a daze. So I think that right now my opponent's debating using Force of Will on top. No, nope, just it has the daze. Alright, so my hope is that my opponent puts a creature into play now, so that I can fire off this Terminus profitably. Yay. Alright, so that doesn't work. Still have answers to the Glistener Elf, but I might just die immediately. Alright. When's the best time to plow this? Probably on my opponent's turn, and my opponent's upkeep. Ooh, Vines with Kicker is an argument against that, but hopefully it won't matter. Play this, and I'm going to exile Flusterstorm because I want to be able to actually kill my opponent if I draw out of this. Though that might be wrong. Maybe Static Caster comes close enough to locking them out. But I'm going to get rid of Flusterstorm. Alright, well that's not good. This is still winnable if my opponent doesn't have another counter and I draw a land. That's weird. Is this just... Okay, yeah, that is a failure to use Pendlehaven. with an attempt to open things up for Static Caster. So I lose to Berserk, Daze, or Force of Will, or not drawing a land. Ooh, that's not good. Now I need to hit something very specific, like land plow. I guess I technically have a turn if my opponent doesn't have anything. But that's pretty unlikely. This has probably become immense, which definitely very kills me. Yep. Alright, I'm dead.